The Screaming Tunnel, Canada's most terrifying urban legend deep beneath a quiet road near Niagara Falls, Ontario, lies a forgotten tunnel. Cold, damp, carved from limestone. Locals call it the Screaming Tunnel. And if you light a match inside at midnight, you'll hear a scream so piercing, it snuffs the flame out instantly. They say it's the scream of a little girl burned alive inside these very walls. The origin of the tunnel was built over a century ago. It was meant as a drainage passage, nothing more, a way to channel water from nearby farmlands. But it soon became a place where light doesn't belong. Overgrown, abandoned, and avoided. People said they could feel something down there, a presence that watched as you walked through. The tragedy. There are many versions of her story, but they all end in fire. Some say she was the daughter of a farmer whose home burned nearby. Trapped in the flames, she ran into the tunnel, screaming for help only for the smoke to choke her last breath. Others whisper a darker version that her father set the fire himself to destroy what he couldn't debiarto, Lozy, and that he caught her as she fled, right in the middle of the tunnel, a torch still burning in his hand. When he left, the tunnel echoed with her final scream. The ritual for decades, brave or foolish locals have tested the legend. At midnight, you're supposed to walk into the middle of the tunnel, strike a single wooden match, and wait. If the story is true, the match will flicker. You'll hear a faint cry, then just thus. The flame steadies. A scream erupts from the darkness, blowing the light out cold. Some say they've heard it. Some cité felt it, a blast of air, a pressure in their chest, a whisper that wasn't human. And a few never talk about what happened after. The investigations, ghost hunters and thrill seekers come from around the world. Cameras, EMF meters, recorders, they capture strange things. Unexplained static, orbs of light, a voice that cries, "Hail me," through the noise. One investigator claimed he saw a girl in a white dress, her hair wet, her face pale and burned, standing at the tunnel's far end. He ran. When he looked back, she was gone. But his camera kept rolling, and in the final frame, a hand pressed against the lens, small, childlike, and covered in soot. Locals, warning. Locals avoid the tunnel after dark. They say it changes after midnight. The air becomes heavy, the walls feel closer. A farmer once said he drove past the tunnel at 12:03 a.m. and saw a girl standing at the entrance, her back to him. When he slowed his truck, she turned around, and her face was nothing but charred ash and hollow eyes. A modern encounter. A group of teenagers once filmed themselves exploring the tunnel for their channel. They laughed, joked, lit their match. You can still find the video online, but it cuts off halfway through. Before it ends, you can hear one of them whisper, "Did you hear that?" A faint scream echoes, followed by silence. Police later found their camera at the entrance. No one ever found the kids. But here's where it gets interesting. Paranormal experts believe the Screaming Tunnel might not be haunted by a single spirit. They think it es an eneritrapa place that feeds on fear. Every time someone enters with trembling hands, heart pounding, that fear becomes fuel. The tunnel drinks it in and uses it to grow stronger. Maybe that's why the screams never fade. Because we keep giving the tunnel more to feed on. We spend our lives chasing darkness to prove it's not real. But what if that's exactly what darkness wants? What if fear isn't something that finds us, but something that follows us home when we go looking for it? Maybe the girl's scream isn't a warning at all. Maybe it's a welcome, because when you stand in that tunnel at midnight, strike that match and wait for the flame to die. You're not summoning her. You're letting her know you're next. So tell me, would you dare enter the screaming tunnel at midnight? Would you strike that match and wait to see what happens next?